say it's really hard to stick to 5 minutes for me, so I'll do my best. It's like putting a leash on me, so that's not always good. When I was first asked about speaking with you all today about what makes people employable, and what advice would I give you as far as being professional and having soft skills, I thought first about 20 years ago, roughly, I was working in Nashville for a staffing company and doing interviews for companies that were on Music Row. And one story comes to mind. I actually went to the restroom early that morning, and I'm in the stall. This is a little bit personal, but I won't go any deeper than that. A couple girls came in the bathroom and started giggling and talking loudly. And one of the girls said that she has an interview with some chick named Kim, which that would be me, for an interview at MCA Records. And she proceeds to talk about how the fact is she really didn't want the job, but she wanted to meet some country stars, and she probably quit in 2 weeks anyway. So her other friend chimes in and says, oh, you know what, I interviewed with that chick too a couple weeks ago, and she was a witch, and kept asking me questions about why I quit all my jobs in the first month. So about that time, I came on out of the bathroom, and you can imagine the surprise. The second girl that knew me, that recognized me when I came out, and of course there was some nonverbal communication going on, some nudging, and like, that's her. So you can imagine what they probably felt after I came out. So one lesson there, lesson number one, is always look under the stalls when you're in the bathroom. No, I'm just kidding there. You have to be aware of your surroundings. People are always listening. People are always watching. You never know when you meet somebody at Kroger, you pass somebody out here on the Parkway, maybe a little road rage kicks in and you do something that's probably not really appropriate. You never know who that person might be, and they might be someone important to you in the future in the success of you getting a job, and that may be an obstacle for you in the future. So always being aware of where you are, who's watching, who's listening. When you're on your cell phone in line at the drugstore, at McDonald's, or wherever you are, those conversations, a lot of times people can hear them. So, you always have to kind of think like a professional, I guess, would be some of my advice. And, you only get, how many times do you get to make a first impression? Once, right? Okay. You have to be aware of that and remember that, okay? One other little thing I will mention, when we're talking about being a professional, when we think of being a professional, we think of people in suits. It's probably the first thing that comes to mind. Bankers, lawyers, teachers, mayors, anybody who might be in a suit. Sometimes that's how we initially define somebody that's professional. I know a lot of people that wear suits that are not professional, and I know you guys probably have too. You come in contact with them. I think being a professional is, it's more your actions and your behavior that define who a professional is. And I think that's something that we all need to think about. Are we acting in appropriate manners and professionally at all times around the public? I'll give you one example of that as well. I actually have someone that would probably not be classified as a professional, but in my opinion, had professional behaviors. We had a garbage man for about 3 years that I would say exhibited professional behaviors. He cared about his job. That's one of the things, that's how I define being a professional. Our garbage cans were not ever left in the middle of the driveway. They always were put on the side with the lids on. There's a few mornings we'd be late with our garbage. He might sit out there and honk once or twice and wait for us, or we'd wait him on if we weren't ready. We noticed after a couple weeks one time that our garbage cans were laying out in the yard. Trash was scattered around. I even had to get out after the third week and move the cans so I could get out of the driveway. So I proceeded to call Waste Pass Services and I asked them. Tragically, our garbage man had lost a foot in a motorcycle accident. And so I proceeded to tell them what he meant to me and us as far as his customer service and his professionalism goes. So to me, that's a lesson on, I look differently at people when I think of, what are professional skills. It's not exactly what you have on, that you have on a suit, but it's the behaviors that you exhibit that define to me that you care about your job, you're dependable, and you have good customer service skills, and you actually care about what you're doing. And to me, that's something that really stands out as far as an employable skill set for people out there in the workforce right now. All right, thank you very much.